Good day, race fans, and welcome to a special episode of the Intentional Wreck podcast. I am your host, Finn, and I am not joined by my three usual friends. They chose their families over the pod. Let me get a boo from them. Boo!
Boo.
Intercontinental boo.
Across the pond, boo! All right, so joining me tonight for a special edition of the pod is going to be none other than Dilly Toon, the head of our international drivers program, outreach program. Dense Fog, our famous, I don't even know what to call you of the league, just, crash out after what you did at Sonoma.
Yeah.
And then, of
Fair.
course, Snugs, who is, I think you might have the most won races in the IWP, so our winningest driver, I feel like. Stats back that up there.
I think so.
But the leader and the mastermind behind the dominant RPM racing, the 99 Snugs. We're here to talk a lot about a lot, and but we're gonna hop immediately into the race today. So, Snugs, I'll start with you. You talked a bit about how you're gonna be, you're kind of pulling for Denny Hamlin this year after everything that happened with Kyle Busch. These Toyotas, man, pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean it was I for a second I thought Bell was gonna make it. I really did. I thought Bell was gonna somehow stretch it to where it was gonna be like a last lap kind of deal. But I mean Hamlin was just so fast. I mean within 20 laps he had cut down, I think it was 12 seconds down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean he was just flying. So I mean all the other Toyotas look good too. I mean shout out, Eric Jones and Nemechek. I mean Legacy looked really good today. So
I mean, John Hunter led the most laps in this race. 42 laps led. I mean, it's crazy to think that 4 Toyotas finished in the top 6 and only one of them was a Gibbs. But an interesting race. I would say maybe not as climatic as last year because the lack of 2 cars fighting for it. What do you think there, Dents, about the race and everything?
I'd say a couple of things definitely stuck out to me. Well, one, I know a viewer out there might not like the statement, but I think Nemechek is the better driver on the Legacy Motor Club team there.
All right, better today, or like you with your full chest, you think John Hunter Nemechek is the better driver?
Definitely better driver for sure.
Interesting.
Even though the results might not be there, but definitely more talented, more skilled than Eric Jones there. And also, like, I was really, really surprised Christopher Bell didn't make it. I know they were really encouraging him to, like, stretch it or slow it down more because they were going to be tight. Like, I didn't catch the interview. I didn't know what he said there afterwards. But, like, I feel like if he was a lap short, they would have been more aware of that. So I was really surprised they were, like, that far off of not making it. I was thinking, yeah, maybe, like, quarter lap to half a lap short, but more than a lap there. So I was kind of surprised about that. But as in Denny Hamlin dominating today, I wasn't shocked by that. I was a little surprised, like about halfway through, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make his way up. I think it was maybe like 10th, somewhere in the middle of stage 2 because of strategy and whatnot. But
he definitely was in more scenarios where a bad decision by others could have taken him out than maybe he has been the last couple of weeks. I think Michigan was definitely one of those where he just like hung around, and then finally got up to the front. At least here, I mean, he ran down. Who did he run down for the lead? And he ran down Larson for the lead, and then later in the race, I think he ran down. It might have been Reddick or somebody else. So at least this race, he spent a lot of time up front. But so much different strategies today with the fuels and
I think that was the only thing that this race had going.
Yeah.
Strategy course, because there wasn't a lot of action in between it.
Yeah, Pocono is certainly one of the few tracks that is struggling in the next gen now. The 750 is something that I think would help. Because it's just this one, they're so aero dependent, right? Like we saw in stage 1. Again, the fact that I think Hamlin has to be treated as an anomaly. The ability to run down Larson and pass him. Because everywhere else, you run somebody down, and then it was just like, unless they gave you room, Gibbs was pretty quick, and he ran down quite a few guys and passed him early in the race. But once they had issues on pit road, I mean, it was just a battle for him to get back up, and he finished 9th on the day. But he certainly might have been the only car that had enough speed to deal with Hamlin. Byron didn't give me anything worthy. He kind of caught him a little bit, and then that was that. Reddick at the end, right? Maybe if he had 2 more laps, might have been able to run down Denny. But that was like a massive tire advantage than it was anything else. But did you feel like you guys learned anything about anybody on this race, out of this, outside of like Snugs mentioned? Legacy Motor Club is like on the map. Jimmy's doing something.
Not so much learned, but I think a 3rd place run for Byron today was huge for him. He just has been like in a little bit of a slump lately. I'd say like running like high, like 8th to 12th place from what I noticed. So I think a 3rd place finish for him is huge for like their momentum.
Totally. Yeah, I think the main takeaway is just, yeah, John. Now I don't know if I agree with you on John Hunter over Eric Jones. I would say I think Eric Jones is the better intermediate track driver. I don't know who the better road course driver is between the two. I think they both kind of stink in that regard.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the better short track driver is. But I would say on an intermediate, like the Michigans, the Charlottes, the Nashvilles, the Darlingtons, I think I'm taking Eric. But these are both 2 guys that are, I mean, if they're continuing to run like this, right? This wasn't a one-off strategy day, right? Yet last week, Eric drove through the field multiple times, finished 2nd on speed. This was kept their nose. They qualified solid. They kept their nose up front. They did a good strategy call to keep themselves up front instead of having to come back through the pack. But finishing 4th and 6th is huge for that team. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Any other notes on Pocono? Because next week we know who's winning. Like that's Daddy's home.
The GOAT. Shane Van Goetbergen.
I think that's, and I think we might. I think back to back is should be expected. So my question is these next 2 weeks going to be enough to cool off Denny Hamlin, or do you think Denny Hamlin wins Chicagoland after these 2 road course races? What are your thoughts?
No, it's not going to cool him off whatsoever. That car is.
I think he'll definitely be top 3 for sure.
Okay.
But like as in dominant wins like we had with Pocono and Michigan, I'm not entirely sure. Like if he wins, it'll be like a Nashville scenario, or like maybe like a Charlotte, where like he does have dominating speed or like 1st place speed during parts of it, but I think it's going to fluctuate a little bit during the race.
The key question is, do we see the Chevy cars actually finding more speed between now and then? Because obviously it's 2 road weeks in a row. Especially with how they've been with their body. A lot of the teams are still struggling. They're not that fast on the ovals. Trackhouse being one of them. I know Chastain was up there this week, but Dilish for once wasn't completely at the rear, but SVG got trapped down a lap, and that was pretty much him done after. He was like middle of the pack, he was like 16th, and then he got into a wreck, 3-wide wreck.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty much him done last week.
I think an Eric Jones, I think if you are betting on somebody to win Chicagoland, I would bet Eric Jones before I bet William Byron. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. Now, the Chevys aren't abysmal, but
they're just not as
good.
The
Toyotas and are on a whole other planet right now. You know what I mean? We are how many races into the season, and Toyota has now won nine of them?
We are 16 races in.
Right. And the only races won were, 4 races by Chevrolets with Talladega, Suarez, Elliott, and then the 1 Ford win at Phoenix. And then everything else has been Toyota sweep of these guys. Gibbs, Hamlin, Reddick. That's 10 wins by Toyotas, right? 4 for Hamlin, 5 for Reddick, and then the Gibbs Bristol.
And obviously we had the Glen and Coda, so that's 2 road weeks so far this season. Right. That's 14 out of the 6.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, I was wondering, do you guys think Ford will eventually turn it around, or we're just at this point where like they might get a little bit better, maybe another win or two here, but at this point, it's just going to be a Toyota Chevy show at the end.
Well, Ford's like big guy, like performance. There's a dude that's been in Ford for a very, very long time. Can't remember his exact role, but he's retiring at the end of this year. And I think it's well known that they're going to be, we're just looking to next year for the Fords.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think they've all kind of accepted that, hey, we can keep fixing whatever the fuck we got now. And they're doing a new body? Is that something I hear?
I heard that. Yeah, I heard they're coming out with a new body next
aren't
year, too.
you on the ins on some new body stuff?
Yeah. So apparently, still haven't gotten a full actual date about it, but it's either going to be the start of the 2027 season, near the end of 2027, or the start of 2028, where they're going to be moving to a GTD body, which I don't know entirely how much it's going to change on the body. Obviously, there's not much that you can change to a Mustang. So,
right.
I mean, get to see what happens, and I definitely get to be at the reveal party. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. So,
sick. Yeah, I think one of the things, and I've been adamant, and that it's kind of been the source, and I don't want to dig too much into Corey because he's not here to defend himself, but before the pod, early days of the pod, and then now, there was always this contention. Whereas I was arguing that I think Penske just like is behind the curve for years, and he's like, how? Like they're winning, like they were at the time that we had this argument that they're back-to-back champions, And he's like, how are you gonna look me in the face on the that's like saying the Chiefs suck after they've won back-to-back Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like how, Finn, can you tell me this? And it's like it was obvious if you watched the races and quit honing in on the result. And again, that sounds ridiculous, but it was like
over the cracks.
Exactly.
That's what I'd call
right.
It.
They were banned. They were letting their Phoenixes, their Iowas, their Worldwide Technologies, these tracks that weren't seeing any fall off and making strategy call wins to get Logano into the playoffs. And Blaney is Blaney. He's, I would say, a top 5 driver clearly. But the rest of the program was struggling. They would just disappear for weeks. And now that's on, right? There's no more winning in. You know what I mean? Now, Ryan Blaney is he's still like 3rd in standings, I'm pretty sure, or 4th in standings. I think he might be above Elliott at this point. Let's take a look. Yes, he is above Elliott. So he's 3rd in the standings, but he's 165 points back. Obviously, a chase is going to change that. But other than that, Buescher's the only Ford until you get to 16th. And I don't think anybody's put money in Cindric, Keselowski, or Logano. So it was obvious that the Penske guys were behind. But
that's an eye opener right there.
Right. Like,
and what I'm personally loving to see is number 14 is there, and he's still got 2 road races to go. Back to back, the next 2.
And you know what? It can't be understated. Daniel Suarez here.
Yep.
He's doing really, really well of late, and
yeah.
He seems to have got seems to be figuring out with that car as well. He's one of the few that's actually figuring out that car. Yeah. And he's got some pace of late.
Yeah. Yeah. You look at where the Trackhouse guys are running, and then you look at where Daniel's running, and it's definitely eye-opening, But let's talk about the real racing that everybody's here for.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The IWP. So I brought these guys on this week so we could get some, varying perspectives here. I reached out to Dinger. He said he's on the road. I reached out to JJ Franken. He said he's got to spend time with his family. Boo! So we got the real ones here to talk about. So let's do a quick little recap of where we are so far. Las Vegas Motor Speedway opened up the season. Shanzi had completely flipped the league up on its head. Has been really solid, but it kicks off the season with a win. Back to business with Snugs getting a dub at Michigan. Worldwide Technology, Dinger Magic, your second place driver last year, comes in, gets his first win of the season. Dilly Toon, which what I think is to date the most impressive performance of the IWP, winning Sonoma on a controller.
Thank you, Dents.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Big Dents crash out. Big Dents crash out on that one.
Still hurts.
Yeah.
Still hurts.
We could
Stilly.
revisit that stream. Oh, it's probably gone by now.
Yeah. For your sake, it should be gone.
The seppuku moment, that was beautiful.
I almost wish race 5 didn't happen, but we aborted and went to Texas. I shouldn't say abort when it's the race that Nick won, when he's literally in the hospital, his baby being born. Shout out to Nick, who's got Bennett on the way, so hopefully good things to hear from them here soon.
He just joined the Discord.
Wait, is he in here right
He
now?
did, and then he left.
Nah, he left.
He
Yeah,
was.
he joined here for like 2 seconds and then left.
I fucking know I did. He wins Texas Motor Speedway. Then back to Charlotte the next week, which C place, winning a late race, late race chaos there at Charlotte, gets his first win, second win in the IWP, and then Snugs with RPMs just like what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the RPM boys there.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Elite teamwork there, and they push their team leader to the win, and that's it for the points paying races. And then of course the All-Star race, which was this past week, where Dinger Magic, who is the back-to-back All-Star champion, but it wasn't without drama, and that's where I first want to allow these guys to kind of talk a bit here. Well, before we have to All-Star race, I said Dilly Tunes my favorite win on this one. What are your guys' favorite wins of this group here?
I'd say I didn't catch the full moment of it, but I think Snugs' win at Michigan. I think he was like second or third, was able to get around Shanzi and just take off and finish race. I thought that was pretty good to see.
I would say Worldwide Technology. Dinger was the fastest guy consistently throughout that race, and despite the late caution, the fastest guy still managed to get the race win, and we had a kind of a deserving winner, somebody who led most of the race and deserved to win that.
Yeah, I think you were what, P2 running, trying to run him down. I think you had Snugs behind you, or was it flipped?
I was P3.
Okay.
And then I was
then
running Snugs down, but Snugs was losing time to Dinger, so I had a best chance of getting P2. Caution comes out, I didn't take tires, and then me and Dent had a lovely bit of
yeah,
neck code fun, I think. Yeah.
/ I overdrove it into you.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what I'm a big fan of, and Shanzi's win isn't to be understated, right? We talked a lot about that. Like, he came out, was average, like through the first 4 weeks, he was averaging like a P2 finish, and even at Sonoma, he was running up into the top 6 or 7 whenever he had some controller issues. But one of the things I like about these first 7 races, there's a lot of different winners, right? In fact, Snugs are the only one to have 2 wins in that first bunch. But seeing guys like Playsick, Nick, Dilly, Dinger, Shanzi, and then yourself, guys that are like top guys in this league that still don't have a win this season, right? Dents, Corey is absolutely deserving of a win. We're still ready to see a space-time jumper win eventually. Once he can get his controller stuff figured out, I think he'll be back, his wheel stuff figured out, be back into the mix. There's a lot of guys in this league. Hun Wee, somebody who I think has got a lot of speed. And then we haven't even talked about the rookies, right? And we'll get to them. Bobby Lee Swagger, TVD. Like, we've got some demons in the IWP, and there's a lot of guys that are going to continue to win races. But this is cool. This like, because last year it felt like it was Snugs Dents for weeks. You know what I mean? And then finally Nick kind of figured out his pedals, and it was like, okay, Snugs Dents, just you 3 kind of shedding wins until Dinger Magic went on his like absurd playoff run.
Was it Playsick broke the dam and managed to get a deserved win towards the end of last season?
I think he won Loudon. I think Playsick won.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he won Loudon.
So real solid there. So all right, now I'm gonna turn this over to Den. So we go to All-Star race, and even though Dinger won and it's deserving, you win a race, you deserve it, right? A little Denny challenge from you here. So what I want to do is I want to turn this over. We're going to go on board with Dents during the start of this race because of 2 things before I just turn it over to you. I'll let you talk. Is one, we've talked a lot about patience in the league, right? And letting those things pay off and not pushing the issue. So I want you to kind of talk about your decision making throughout the race, kind of let's highlight some times where you felt like you could have pushed back off. Feel free to brag, be like, hey, I backed off here and it's cool. And then it just shows that, like, hey, at the end of the day, like, raw speed will get you all the way up to where within 41 laps you were 3/10 behind the leader, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit play here. Let's just go live, watch the start of this race. And my favorite is gonna be when you start talking and we see something of like you just like absolutely shit on somebody and you forgot about it. But I'm gonna let this go and take us over, going green here at the All-Star race.
So first things first, like I know I need to like get forward, but I need to do it in a smart way where I'm not like driving through people. Right here, I know I'm 3 wide. I'm kind of nervous. There's 3 wide in front of us. I'm just trying to take it easy, get in good. Not sure if someone's on my outside right there at the moment too, but I just keep pressing forward.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just like obviously want to move forward, but my main concern was actually like these guys might wreck in front of me. It could have a lot of damage, and there might not be a caution. So I was just trying to be like aware of that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just trying to take my time and let things kind of spread out right now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this freaking wrecking ball here in the 6 can't figure out how to keep his car off the wall.
I don't know who that is, but
TRD, you're doing a good job on that bottom lane and not get too tight in you. Big hot entry, but that's, So how was the track here? Remember when we came here the first time, early in the game, nice little move there under Hunwee. Was it very slick on exit, or did you feel like a little bit more grip than in the past?
It is a little slick, but like with us running 1x wear, I knew I could really be aggressive on throttle. More so if it was like on our usual 3x wear, I'd be a little more careful. So I'd say I think my biggest advantage is in this corner here, 3 and 4. Probably a bad example right here, but what I'm mainly focusing in on is trying to get on the throttle as soon as possible, even if it's like a little bit, then get full throttle once I feel like the car is like fairly straight coming out the corner.
Yeah, big move there. Dilly there kind of gets in the wall. It's a tricky corner to get in, and you see this, like, you not panicking. Like, it's okay, we let cars pass. Here's TR Dog and Hunwee back through. So, interesting enough, and point out here, the 1X tire wear is that next week it is going to be 3X tire wear. So I'm very curious to see how often guys are going to be struggling or kind of burning their shit up. I mean, this is absolutely chaos.
It was, dude. I was just trying to keep my spot, but not run the guy over in front of me, really. And
I mean,
try to have some positive forward momentum, not lose any.
No, totally. I mean, like, let's hit a pause here. Let's take a look at where we're at, right? So, people that are panicking and going, oh, I got to get to the front, right? You're 5.2 seconds behind the leader. We're 6 laps into this race. You've only gained 4 to 5 positions, right? Like it's literally a marathon, not a sprint. Let's cut a little bit ahead here and get to where you're kind of. Let's get to here. So you kind of caught. We're still 5.2 ahead, so we're just four more laps. P9. I'm just gonna hit play here. How did the car change throughout the run? Was it really just the wear and getting a little bit looser?
No, the balance was pretty much the same, but with everyone kind of a little more spread out, I could run the line I needed to run and be as hard as I want to on the throttle without concern of being slowed up by someone or needing to slow up. Gotcha. Where like here, I don't know if I go on the inside or outside here, but okay, yeah, inside, he gives me the lane. So like, I just had a much more like room to lay down the laps once everyone's kind of more spread out.
Exactly. Instead of trying to fight cars, and like when you were back there before and, you're 3 wide, they're 3 wide, that's not the time. Even if you have to let them go, just relaxing a little bit. See, the mistakes are going to get made. Guys are going to get in the wall, slow themselves down here. You use that as a bit of a pick on. Oh, it's that dipshit Form Snugs in the 99 there. Can't keep his stuff straight. Multi-winner tier. But I think that's the big notion here is, when you hit panic mode and you overdrive, you've gained. It's been double the laps. We stopped at 6. Now it's lap 13. You haven't gained anything on the leader. Nothing in terms of track position, right? I think that's probably the big thing. You look at that and you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, I mean, I mean, was there any cautions to restack the field on this race?
No, nothing.
And no pits.
Yeah, correct. No pits.
So, again, everybody's not dense fog, right? Everybody's not Tyler B. Highest I rating in the Discord. But like even here, like the big checkup on Playsick to not run him over, to not dump him, even at your own, now you're back to 5.2. We're back to this. So let's jump a little bit more ahead. Now you've hit P3 at this point, and now 4 seconds. So what are you thinking at this point? You've got 18, 17 laps to go.
Yeah, 4 seconds. I was like, at this moment, I really wasn't sure if I was going to catch him or not. I knew it was going to be close. And I knew it really depended on how long it was going to take me to get around Eric in Michigan. Even though, yeah, I'm a little bit faster, but just because I can catch someone doesn't mean I'm going to get around him easily. So, yeah, at this point, I'm just in a rhythm, clicking off laps, just trying to stay in that rhythm, not overdrive it, but just kind of get in that flow in a way.
Yeah, I think one of the things we've learned is there's raw pace, and then there's I'll call it like highway hypnosis, right? Like, can you maintain your pace lap after lap after lap? These guys, they've had clean air. These guys have not had to kill their tires, but they're 25 laps in. It's hard to repeat those tasks or keep up with the track, and that's something that you and Snugs and Nick, all you guys have extremely well. And I think that's kind of the main difference here. Is now you're in a spot where it's like, okay, click off laps, whereas they're over here in like, fuck, what am I doing different? Because they're dropping lap time like crazy.
I think it's definitely something on a mental. I think they could see me catching them, and that might cause them to overdrive and even lose even more time, helping me out sometimes too.
Gotcha. All right, let's go here to this kind of Erica, Michigan, really giving you a hard time. Little team orders here from the Mighty Meat Boys.
Yeah, I think I get on his outside here maybe. And if he would have never let me get on his outside, no, I think it was next lap.
Yeah.
I would have been much harder to get around him here on the inside, just because it's so a little more looser.
Yeah.
Trying to pass someone underneath.
Eric, one of our rookies this year. Who won the open race? Did y'all run an open race?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. I'm trying to remember.
Oh my gosh, these admins! This was a big loose moment on exit from you. Hard to get that drive off. Lost a little bit of time.
I think Solomon that won the open? Or no, Eric in Michigan won the open. Eric in Michigan won the open.
Gotcha. Did he have to start in the rear? Because it was supposed to be, if you won the open, you start the All-Star race, but you're in the back. Did he start in the back?
He did.
Okay, damn. I mean, if he drove through the field to BP2 like that, that's pretty nuts.
Inside door.
Yep, there's a big move there. And you know what? Credit to Eric there for not squeezing.
Yeah, he could have forced it up high right there pretty easily, so
yeah,
it was nice of him to give me that space.
I was drunk as hell in the bed. Stomach hurting watching this race. Yeah. Oh man, we just got back to the hotel. So now, all that, and you've got, 6 seconds. There's just a big moment as you kind of, where's it at? You got
right up running to the wall.
All right, this is
that's the last lap right here. Yeah.
So it might have been a little bit further back. We won't search for it too long. If I can find it, I can find it.
Yeah.
But I think that's
probably right. I think it's this lap here.
Yeah, it looks like
I knew you had a little bit of a time getting around space time as well. Not super long there, but
no, it was before this actually. But
okay.
Yeah, and I was running that middle line in 3 and 4.
This is what it was. He hit the wall, and he didn't really give you the bottom here, and you didn't really get a chance to have a real corner. Off the throttle a little bit longer than you maybe would have liked. And then limiting your ability to get all the way down and use all that track. But either way, fair play. You saved just enough tire, and there's your back-to-back all-star race champion in Dinger Magic, who second in points. Let's take a look at those points here. So Warm Snugs, your only multi-race winner. He sits atop the board, the only driver with 300 points. Behind him, Dinger Magic of the Mighty Meat Boys, RPM, Shanzi. KTRC's Ware Racing, the first rookie on the board, Bobby Lee Swagger. Then 2 RPM boys and Playsick, JJ Franken. Then the other rookie, TBD, Dilly Tune himself, Corey Russell, and then rounding out the top 10 is Dense Fog. Aside from Dense Fog, who is kind of your biggest maybe surprise at this moment where we are in the standings?
Oh, I'm gonna go first, and dude, Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee. If that man could just mold his racecraft into something more constant, honestly, he would be second, maybe if not first in points. He's been competitive. I mean, even at Talladega, RPM was 1, 2, 3, 4, but Bobby Lee was always right there. I think it just comes down to, not enough friends in the right place at the time. So,
and sometimes he's got himself into situations where he hasn't come out kind of where he's wanted. If that makes sense.
I mean, he's got 4 top 10s, 2 top 5s. You kind of look at where he's finished throughout the races.
It's getting that average start a little bit better. That's he's starting around 10th, so he's having to make his way through the field a little bit.
Yeah, I think, and just for everybody looking, the number to the left outside the parentheses is the finishing position, and then the number inside the parentheses is where they started the race. So this is something I'm working on getting broadcast out to everybody, so it's easier to kind of view. But yeah, I mean, for a rookie coming in, I think I haven't seen too many scenarios where he's being, he's racing people dirty. But pretty solid. And then you look at, TBD here, who has finished third, and fifth. In his last 3 races, third, and fifth. Like, he's on fire. And I think he's really only down in the points because he missed a race, and we haven't had drop races impacting the points just yet. So I think you 2 teammates not only fighting for a championship here, but Rookie of the Year honors and TBDs put together some very, very quiet, solid races at the last 3 tracks. Because I tell you what, you got to go for the Drivers' Championship because the Team's Championship is damn near locked up. Right.
I don't even know. I haven't looked at the team standings.
We need an inspection on the RPM cards.
We'll take a look at the team points here in a second here. Obviously, the Hendrick boys are probably the biggest letdown. Dents is the only Hendrick car in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, we're struggling.
After that is Big APW in 16th, Nick. And obviously in real life things are going to impact that. And what we don't want to do, and I'll kind of publicly thank you admins for helping. Obviously I've got a new job and I'm traveling quite a bit, and that's kind of limiting my ability to show up on race days. But the community, I'm watching you guys in the Discord continue the race, continue to show up. The 24 car will absolutely find his way back up to the front. I got a wheel now. I just want a damn race with it. But some, pretty competitive in terms of points. I like this kind of jumble here of guys that are all within, all kind of within 15 points of Dinger. And not only that, keep in mind, drop weeks are not applied to the current point standings. So I'm going to wait until we get to, let's see here. Let's go look at the schedule. Probably race 10. When I get to race 10, that is when the new points will drop with drop weeks applied. I know, at the end of the day, everybody should be racing to finish as high as they can anyways, but we will have a good look here on the last kind of 5 races of the season where everything's going to shake up, what the row point standings kind of looks like. But for now, at least with total points, it's a lot closer than we think. let's see. Let's take a look at some of these see standings and or stats so far as well. Here's a guy I want to call out. Fat Randy. He's got the most top
Improved.
10s as anybody in the field. On the year, he's gone 9th, 6th, 24th, one bad week, but he started 6th in that race, so something tells me probably just one of those. And then since then, 10th, 10th, 9th, 6th. So we've run 7 races. Every race he's been the top 10. Maybe not the best looking of the meet, but definitely
Nice.
That was a very
That
bold
sounds
choice there.
extremely soft.
maybe not the best looking
Very
of the
soft.
meet, but certainly, up there on pace. I don't think he, well, he's not 18th in points. Let's see, where is he in the standings? You don't get to be Fat Randy right here in 11th, tied actually with you, Dents. So we have a tie for 10th place at the moment.
Mhm.
So, I mean, those consistent days are going to change when, when that 24th comes off of the points, and now every race he's had is a top 10. That's the name of a guy that I think could absolutely rise up to the top and look really good. And then you've got C Place, who's got 4 top 5s. We talked about TBD already, 4 top 5s. Franken's a name that's maybe a little bit quieter in the point standings, but 5 top 10s as well. Yeah, really, Snugs, you've just been incredible. 5 top 5s, 2 wins, 3 stage wins. Who's got the most? Dents, you have the most stages. Stage 1 Warrior, Dents Fog.
Yeah.
Obviously you had a good start, 7th, 9th, 3rd, and then it's been. I just accidentally
deleted something.
Yep,
There
it
you
is.
go.
Just 27, 22nd, 18, 27. It's been a rough streak here for the all-9 machine. I think a turnaround.
Yeah, for
Time to
sure.
change
You never
that
know what could
paint
happen.
scheme you use.
What's that?
Said I think it's time you change that damn paint scheme you use.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
might need to get. Are you running the red one? Yeah, get that red one out of there.
Yeah, that's what I've been using.
That's red is
My
danger.
time
After all, isn't it?
my time to stick to the Napa Gold filters one.
Yeah.
So taking a look at this, let's talk a little bit about outside the top 10. Okay, and we already said Fat Randy, so Fat Randy's not one. Who are some guys that you're really high on that you think could make an impact, and whether that's an impact this season or improve a little bit, or is this somebody that you think, hey, one more season racing with us, and I think he's got something. Who all on this list are you kind of maybe got your eye on? And if you want me to go first, I'll go first.
For me, definitely Eric in Michigan. He
Uh-huh.
sticks out. I think there's been several races where he just didn't have the finishes he got. And I think he missed a race too. And I mean, he was running second behind Dinger most of that also race. So even
Yeah.
just like that truck exposition race at Vegas, it seemed like he had a lot of speed too. So
Yeah, he's finished
I could
3rd,
see.
5th, and 12th on some races and looks
Mhm.
solid. But yeah, I agree. That's got speed. Anybody else?
Me, I'm looking at Bumble. I am. Bumble's
Okay.
been putting in a lot of work, man. Like I have our own RPM Discord, and he's sitting there asking, hey, what's this wheel setting need to be at? I'm running this lap time now. You get him some info, and now he's running like a 10th faster. I mean, he was running maybe a 10th and a half off of me.
He's developing. That's the thing. Right?
Yeah, it's a slow climb, but man, when you complete the climb and you're looking at the view once you get up there, I think Bumble's gonna be really something cool.
Bumble, Brett Cruz Lee. Is that Brett Cruz Lee? Is that what we got here? We got a development driver in the works for RPM. Bumble Lee's your guy. I mean, he went from controller to wheel, season 1, and now season 2. It's just kind of not just showing up and racing, but kind of being a part of that, getting in there and driving.
Yeah, I mean he's been very active in the practice races. I mean, yeah, the results aren't really going to show it, but I mean he's been really pushing it in the in the practice races, doing it by himself, just lapping a bunch of laps. You know, I find myself, hey Bumble, what did you run like on lap 24 of your tie run? Like I find myself even asking him now for information.
Right. I'm gonna go Top Gun. Obviously last year playoff driver. Maybe he didn't have the best season so far this year, but he's got finishes of 3rd, 5th. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Where is he at? I was just looking at him. He's got finishes of 8th, 5th, 4th, 13th. Like he when he does show up, he missed one race. His worst race on the year is 16th, but again, you take those two out, and so far the worst race he's got on the year is 13th. I think the JTB boys have definitely got some speed. Blazer won a race last year. Mad Cheeks looked pretty solid at Sonoma. I think he finished.
Mad Cheeks has improved significantly. It's just more of a racecraft thing for him.
Yeah. And then, of course, two guys that I think are going to, I think they're going to be first-time winners this year. The 19 is going to win a race, and Hellseeker's going to win a race. Those are two guys that I think are just kind of waiting in the wings. Maybe the finishes aren't quite aligning with their skill level, but I think that those are two guys I've got my eye on top of the group for the rest of the season.
What's our schedule looking like for the upcoming races?
Yeah. So coming up next, and this is a good thing to talk about here, is we've got Phoenix, Darlington, Nashville. So 3 intermediate tracks, then a short track in Richmond, back to an intermediate in Kansas. And then that sets us up for a finale of a road course, a short track, and then Homestead, Miami for the championship. So, as you can see, highlighted in orange, what's that mean? That's the in-season tournament races. 5 races, as each driver gets a matchup each week, and that'll take us all the way down to Kansas, where it'll be a one-on-one duel to see who will win the in-season tournament. I've got the initial bracket matchups right here. And why don't we go through and talk a bit about them? Don't you think, Snugs?
Sure.
We'll start
Let's
with.
Go for it.
I don't know. So you said you might possibly is crazy. Might possibly miss either round 2 or you're gonna miss round 1.
I'm gonna be there for round 1. I will miss round 2.
Gotcha. So one of the things that I want to do is obviously people will miss weeks. Okay. So we did this last year. I'm being upfront about it as we go. If there is a scenario like, and I'll confirm, but like say like again, Snugs, you move on to round 2, and then you can't make it that week. We'll probably just have Moose race again in that one, and if Moose can't race it, the person that you beat can't fill into that spot for you, like they're gonna miss the race or whatever. Then we'll find, and there's a seeding here. All of these are on seeding, so we'll probably find a seeding of somebody. We don't want to just like let the guy who's like the 2nd seed who got eliminated come back in. You know what I mean? Like it's not just gonna be like the highest seed, but try to do something so that every person in each week has a matchup, right? We really want to avoid there being free weeks. So to the best of our ability, we will, want the matchup. But like if Snugs, if you move on and then you can't race. Or let's say one of your opponents here can't go. We'll figure that out as we go and make it logical as best we can. And
if I need to, I'll bring the Xbox and just sit that son of gun on the beach.
Because I've already seen a potential like that second tie.
Right. Like if Nick can't make it,
like neither of them. No, there's a likelihood that potentially neither of them will be racing this week. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, Big APW said he's got a client or a test. Nick obviously has a newborn, so we'll see what we need to do from here, right? And if that means,
so what you're saying is I could have a free week and just move on to round 3.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility. But if they're not gonna, but if they're not gonna make it, and you're not gonna make it, I'll probably just let that one move on, right? Whereas if there's another scenario, we're fine. All right, so let's talk about Dilly Toon. Well, I think if they both show up again, I imagine Nick won't make it. So I think Nick's the favorite there. I think you're obviously the favorite here. That's the worst matchup, like number 1 versus number 2, 32 seed. But Moose on Loose, I'm excited. He keeps showing up. cool guy. I know he keeps getting pulled aside for dad duties, but you know, we're always welcome and family friendly. Dilly Toon JTB Blazer. So Dilly, how did you feel during the All-Star race? Do you have some speed at Phoenix, or are you struggling to figure that one out on a controller?
End of like the bottom end of the top 10, kind of that level of speed. Just granted, that was on 1x, on 3x. I don't know how it's gonna be, and with us not having stage cautions, that won't bunch up the field. So it could be how good people are getting in and off pit road as well. So I think I've got top 10 speeds. I should be kind of playing to my seeding, if that makes sense.
Okay, Blazer's certainly quick. Race winner. Dents, if you had to pick one, who would you pick?
I'd probably have to pick Dilly on this, even though he thinks he's probably an A-place car. He grinds and practices hard, and I think he'll be like 5th to 6th place by the end of the week.
While I agree, this is probably the one matchup where a 25 and higher seed could absolutely win, right? Blazer's kind of there because he misses some races, but I think Blazer's got a decent enough speed and shows up in some weeks. But I'm going to go Dilly. Next is Corey Russell versus Frontman Finn. And again, the surprise is this is my first race on a wheel. And I have no idea how that's going to go.
Have you done any practice? Like, do you feel
Nope.
You feel good?
I have been gone all week at work, and there is a
that's
good
right.
chance the only practice laps I get are if I hook this thing up tomorrow, because I will be at a client dinner on Tuesday and will literally be going home after having drinks to just go do the race. So I would say if you were a betting man, Corey Russell. That being said, I'm really good at Phoenix and iRacing. So
That you are.
given a long enough,
I think it's going to be close. I think
And I
it's going to be a
think
close matchup.
out of all the tracks, I'd say Phoenix probably drives the most similar
Mm.
to NASCAR 25 as it does to iRacing. So, a little different, obviously, but
we will see.
Especially with that first.
But Corey's had a lot of practice through the All-Star race.
Mhm.
It's tough to beat that.
I think all the adult drinks that you're gonna have, I mean, I think they're just gonna power you through.
It all depends, right? It all depends, because I just, again, like when I say like I don't know, like I don't have the settings. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if I'm over braking, under braking. I hopped on, did 1 or 2 races in public matches, and then that was that.
Well, good thing we have Dennis Fogger who's selling you the wheel.
There you go.
Just tell that.
I don't
Hey,
not
what's your
remember
settings,
setting.
dog?
I don't remember, to be honest.
So
just
Never
I'm
mind,
like,
dude,
I just clicked a
that's
few
your
things
teammate
on
right there.
on here, a few things over there. I just kind of guessed it, honestly.
nice.
That's your teammate right there.
Bobby Lee Swagger, the big rookie we were talking about. Jeff Deadly Pants. Again, very, very tough track. Jeff's my guy. Bobby Lee takes this one. You know?
I agree.
You know?
I'd definitely give Jeff some props for trying his best to get better on the wheel, and
Totally.
it's shown. I mean, he was what, top 10 at Talladega?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that it's a hard track, but
I think Jeff
you gotta
just
keep that son of a gun straight.
I think
it's
you
hard
just
to
need
get
good days.
I was gonna say it was hard to keep the draft that day. I lost it twice, and that's why I ended up tapping out.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think he needs a little bit of joy. I think he really liked that Talladega race. A little bit of momentum to get him showing up to practice races, and then that'll be the difference. Here's an interesting one, right? You said Bumblebee's kind of on the up and up, coming off of a P2 finish at Talladega. And he's going to be taking on Hellseeker on the controller. I'm leaning Hellseeker, but do you feel a Bumblebee upset?
I
will not be
personally
surprised.
I think that this is probably one of Hellseeker's stronger
I agree.
places to race. He was up there last week, even on the controller. He well clear of me in practice, well clear of me in last week's race. So I think if he keeps himself out of trouble, he probably should be taking it.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Hellseeker is obviously really consistent. I mean, even dating back to last season, really consistent, always a front runner, top 5, definite top 10 car. Bumble qualified 4th in the Open.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was only, I think, a 10th off of Eric. The speed's there. I just think it's going to be consistent racecraft for 78 laps.
And with the 3x wear, it'll be slightly different because obviously you've got your throttle control's got to be even better.
Yeah. And I mean, and he also has Chad Snuggs Knaus in his ear, so we're gonna get it. We'll get him taken care of. I wouldn't be surprised if he advances, but Hellseeker's tough, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good matchup. It's a good one, and I'm excited. That'll be one that I hopefully I'm watching in my rearview mirror, but gonna be a good one. If I had to put money, I'm gonna go Hellseeker. They do a lot of prep in the Toyota camp. They show up quite a bit, so I'm gonna go with the prep and the guy who's higher in points. C place over Bondsman. I love Bondsman. Love his energy. I think this is a Placek, an easy Placek win. Same for Top Gun. Solomon just said in chat that he's going to be on a controller this week because he's on vacation. So like hotel Wi-Fi plus a controller. Good luck. You know what I mean?
Only going to be blinking.
Dinger Magic and TR Dog. TR Dog. He's becoming one of my favorite personalities in chat. Funny guy. Real enthusiastic, and we appreciate that. He drew a tough matchup here with Dinger Magic.
I don't think Dinger's gonna be there either. I'm pretty sure.
Dinger. Oh no, you think Dinger might be gone?
I thought he said that at the end of the All-Star race, saying he won't be there.
Oh yeah, no. I think he said the same thing. I think he said that he was going to go out of town.
Yeah.
That's nuts. All right. Well, in that case, TR Dog, you are moving on.
Hey, congrats.
Solomon is letting us know that he is not a peasant and doesn't do hotels. So I don't know what are we Airbnb-ing or?
Airbnb then. Okay.
Big dog.
I said I'm not a peasant. I have a 401k. Erica, Michigan, and Bryce. It depends on which Bryce shows up. You know what I mean? Bryce is obviously a fantastic iRacer. But as we also saw in the All-Star race, VOD, he's a bit of a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, due to the new RPM contractual negotiations with RPM and Bryce, I can no longer talk shit about him.
Oh.
So.
Oh wow.
I think as long as Eric and Michigan qualifies well, he should get this win.
Yeah, Eric Michigan, really solid. LJ up. But I mean, again, one wreck, maybe like one RPM teammate that doesn't like Erica Michigan could change the deal. You know what I mean? That's the plus side of having, more teammates on the track is, you could pull a Eric of Michigan and block him. His own move. TBD and Meatball. Meatball is just a complete question mark. He's another guy, similar craft as me. He's busy on the road a lot, so shows up when he can, but knows how to race. But again, we've seen what TBD was finishing, what his finishes look like. I think we all agree the rookie's going to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Meatball could surprise. Meatball could surprise.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, definitely one of the guys who doesn't deserve to be that low. More of a participation rating versus a skill rating, but that's a tough draw. TBD, those guys, Bobby Lee and TBD, they practice. You know what I mean? They do not show up learning the track on the fly. Dents versus Trox, a little Hendrick on Hendrick crime. Trox, the only downside for you is that there's no stage caution for Dents to choke after. So in Dence's brain, it's all one big stage, and he's the elite at winning the first big stage. I'm going to go Dence Fog on this one. We all agree.
That's a bold
providing that Dence doesn't commit seppuku again.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll think about it.
I don't know if to say what Cupcake is racing this week, but again, Shanzi's a tough pool, and I expect Shanzi to win that matchup.
This matchup 14.
Yeah, Mad Cheeks, Hot Lap Jimmy. Jimmy's been pretty solid. Let's take a look at where he's kind of finished here in the 09. He's at the bottom, I think. Hot Lap Jimmy. who is put together some solid races, 17, 17, 17, 16th, 11th, like running in the mid, a 14th place finish, like huge improvement. And you know what? Like you see those numbers, and I know in your other NASCAR 25 leagues, that feels like that's the back of the pack, but that, like, we're 30 car fields, boys. You know what I mean? Like, we're 30 car fields. That's middle of the pack. That's, you know, and in almost every scenario, he started 23rd, moved up to 14th. Started 18th, up to 17th, 20th to 17th, 21st to 16th, 20th to 11th. He's gaining positions throughout the race. Mad Cheeks has equally been impressive. Higher peak, the road course, but the last 3 races favor Hot Lap Jimmy. So this is a banger of a matchup, actually. I hope both of them are at the race. Who do you have?
Can't split that. I would say Mad Cheeks is a slight favourite, but yeah, you can't really split them too much.
What do you think, Snugs?
I mean, Mad Cheeks has been showing speed. I mean, Sonoma, he was running really well.
Mm-hmm.
In the practice races that he does show up to, he's running really well. So, I mean, I would not be surprised if Mad Cheeks advances, but I'm kind of leaning towards Hot Lap as well.
And what I will say is, last week in the Open, Mad Cheeks advanced, but Hot Lap didn't. So that's that form I'm going off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just focused on that next matchup.
I'm going to go Hot Lap Jimmy. My Hendrick teammate, I'm impressed with how much effort he's put in. He shows up quite a bit. I know he's an older guy, but I'm going to go Hot Lap Jimmy on that one. Now, JJ Frank and Hun Wee. Again, Hun Wee is not a guy who should be 27th on talent, right? This is 27th on just being busy and getting, you know, wrapped up in some stuff. But Hun Wee has got some speed. JJ obviously had the championship locked up, had one pit stop, not changed everything last year. So my pick's gonna be JJ Franken. But what's your thoughts, Snugs?
I'm definitely leaning towards JJ. JJ's got the speed, the consistency. I mean, Talladega was a blip, but I mean, hell, dude. If you don't have a blip at Talladega, you were either wrecked out early or you were always in the front. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Hun Wee, though, has speed that can't really be overlooked. If he can use his patience to his ability and not push hard in the beginning, JJ might have to watch out.
I think Humway is somebody who, on an oval like this where you can get a bit loose, that's the thing that might come in, like make him come undone. That's the thing. He's got the speed. I think JJ's just more consistent and has slightly better throttle control in terms of later in the, like when the tires are starting to wear a little bit more.
I think it's going to be a track that suits JJ a little bit.
Yeah.
If this was a Vegas or a Kansas, I think Hun Wee's like right up there with him, you know?
I mean, JJ finished second last season, too. JJ was literally second place to Dinger, only by a 10th.
In
So, I mean,
what race?
in season 1 at Phoenix.
Okay, I didn't know if you were specifically. Yeah, let me go. The NASCAR 25 results.
Yeah, I believe he was second.
Yep. He was second. Hellseeker was 6th. Gamer. So Bryce 7th. I finished 9th. I don't remember. I was.
Yeah, Will Bryce.
Yeah, a lot of guys. Hell, Bobby Lee Swagger finished dead last. So who knows what could happen here at Phoenix?
Exactly.
All right, Fat Randy Spacetime Jumper. So talking about guys, Fat Randy finished 4th at Phoenix last year in the playoff race. And I think between that and Spacetime kind of having his controller issues, I think it's safe to say that I think Fat Randy's the favorite. But if Spacetime can return to form, I think that's a good matchup. But Fat Randy, we talked about him earlier. 6 top 10s on the year out of 7 races. Fantastic consistency from him.
I think for Spacetime it was he had the lap speed, he just always had a moment.
Yeah.
Or something would go wrong.
It's
I'm not counting it.
You said
I'm not counting out Spacetime.
No, I'm not.
Again,
I can't.
It's
I mean, he stole Darlington last season just solely based off teamwork.
right, but it's just the controller. Like, there's just the big change between him has been like something has happened, and like it literally, like watching him on the track, it just feels like he has a broken controller. It doesn't feel like his wheel is working properly. He upgraded to an R, or an R series, or no, a Moza. Sorry, R series is what I sell at work. A Moza R3, and I don't think, or maybe even as R9, and it just doesn't.
it's R9, I believe.
He just doesn't have something. So if somebody wanted to get with him and help him or make sure his settings are right, because something just genuinely feels off. You don't really upgrade from a Logitech to a Moza, and then literally incapable of keeping the car straight. So I'm pretty sure, I'm happy he keeps showing up, but I would be like, that's priority number one. So at his best, though, this is a fantastic matchup. But I think Fat Randy's consistency right now, expect that Tide machine to be moving on to take on JJ Franken. And that's no, Fat Randy's a Mighty Meat guy? Or is he an RPM guy?
No, Fat Randy's Mighty Meat.
Okay. So last thing, let's take a look at that is team standings. It isn't particularly close. RPM Racing, almost 263 points ahead, coming off one of the best performances of the year, 172 points, which is the best team performance after Talladega. So, and then the best one before that on the league is the 154 they did the week before. So RPM, super dominant. Mighty Meat and Hendrick Motorsports and Championship Legacy Racing and KTRC, like even that like is a really tiny
a
grouping.
Blanket, yeah, for second.
He's jumping between time and space. True. Yeah, that's what it looks like on the track. Genuinely, it looks like it's like, he's trying to race a race from last week and next week at the same time, and his controls can't hang up. JTB boys obviously struggling a little bit on the team department, but this is completely optional, right? But this is cool to see as the teams are going. So RPM, the Fords dominating. These Hendrick boys got to get it
Inverse
together.
of real life.
So we'll keep going here on this this thing. Obviously, the first track is Phoenix. Next week is going to be Darlington, tough racetrack. Nashville's going to be fun, Richmond, and then Kansas. So keep up to date on that bracket. It will be posted every week in the announcements channel. Shanzi's here. We got to restart. Good day, race fans, and welcome to Shanzi's personal podcast. Podcast made for Shanzi by Shanzi to cater to Shanzi. So, no, I think we're at an hour here. We got 1 hour to go until the Freedom 250 anniversary UFC card. If you guys are watching that tonight, so
isn't that in the Lightning and there's supposed to be?
I don't want to get political in chat, but yeah, we're celebrating July 4th's birthday here on somebody else's birthday. And it looks like God didn't like that because there's rain and thunderstorms tonight. But if that gets going, cool. Be sure to follow us on all platforms, including this YouTube. If you don't, want to thank everybody for their participation. We had good numbers here in the, about 8 to 9 concurrent viewers. A lot of you guys popping in. So obviously, if you were late like Shanzi, then you can watch this back as a YouTube video. Fellas, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for giving me your input on the league, and we should do more of these.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Well, let's, Bryce is alone in the iRacing voice chat, so let's go bother him.
He's currently singing all by himself.
He's just
crying,
just fuming because
the
of what he said about Eric Jones, John Hunter being better. You know what? Hold on 1 second, dude.
He's just pacing on up and down the whole.
What do you have to say about Dent saying John Hunter is better than Eric Jones? The floor is yours.
What happened?
All right, we will see you next week on the Intentional Wreck podcast. Thank you for joining. See you.